Hello, I am Sister Sandy. I'm going to show you how to stretch paper. This is for a watercolor project. This paper is cold pressed, so you see it has a little bit of a texture to it. I don't know if you could see that. Hot pressed paper, on the other hand, has no texture at all because it's hot pressed, so it's like it's ironed. All of the texture is ironed out of it. But you have to stretch your paper because what happens is if you don't, especially with a larger painting, the paper will bellow up into hills and valleys, and the paint will settle in the valleys, and it will pool there, and all your color will be in the valleys, and your hills will have no color on them. And it totally ruins the painting. So stretching the paper really, really helps, especially the larger you're working. Now I'm going to use a piece of cut masonite, the smooth side. This is the rough side. I'm going to use the smooth side of it. You can also use, some people use foam core or foam board, which is a piece of foam with paper on both sides, and they use pins, but I don't know if you can reuse it after you do that. So we're going to, I've never done that before, but I always use masonite because you can use it over and over. Now you're going to take your sponge, it can be a artificial sponge, or this is a sea sponge, and you need a table that is completely dry in order to do this. So you're going to try to not move the paper. Okay, so you don't want to get the other side wet, and you're going to go in a cross-hatch fashion, like that. Of course, you get the table wet as you do this. Your sponge has to be a little bit wet, soppy wet. Now you're going to go the other way. So like I said, cross-hatch fashion. And as you're doing this, your paper is expanding. Okay, put your sponge back. Wet side down, center it on your masonite. Don't move it once you have it placed down. Okay, now we take masking tape, which is regular paper tape or painter's tape. You're going to measure the length of the paper. You hold it by both ends. You're going to want a stripe around this page, which is going to look beautiful. So you're going to hold it by both ends, place it on the left side. Now you're going to place it on the right side, the same distance from the edge. And now you have both ends pressed down. Now you just go from the middle and you go like that. And you get a perfect seal. Again, measure. And you want it about the same distance from the edge. Measure it on the left. Measure it on the right. Press that down, go from the middle, and zoop. Oh, I got a little bit of a wrinkle there. All right, it's not going to kill anything. And then, same thing here. You're going to get a beautiful white stripe around your painting when you do this. Measure it from the top, measure it from the bottom, and then you can just go like that or from the middle. All right, one more time. It's a little bit of work, but it really, really helps to do this. All right. Okay, your paper is now stretched. You can paint here dry, or you can then go with the wetted if you want to do a background, like a sunset or something. One thing you need to know is that after your painting is done, definitely let it dry completely. Once it's dry completely, you have to remove the tape. So I'm going to tell you how to do that. You're going to go from the corner, and you have to pull away from your painting because if you pull this way, you're going to rip the page. So you have to pull always away from your painting. Just like that. And then when you do this one, you're going to pull down away from the painting that way. Okay, so you'll take it off completely. You shouldn't be ripping anything if you do it that way. And you should get a beautiful white stripe all the way around, which could be covered by a mat if you mat the piece. Or you could do a bigger stripe if you want, and then have the stripe show when you mat it. But the white stripe really helps. And remember, when you do your painting, you want to always leave some white on the painting, because remember that your source of light is the white of the page. So you have to let the light through. And that's basically it. So that's stretching paper for a watercolor painting. Thank you so much.